Hey everybody, welcome to the weekly recap, which I hope will be the best 5 or 6 minutes of your week. And I know if it's not the best, it's certainly going to be the most informative. So let me start off with news about my nephew, Michael Clear. The trailer for his new movie was leaked this week. The name of the movie is Mortal Kombat. It's not going to be in theaters until April 19th, but it looks like an absolute winner of a movie. Mortal Kombat is the story of an intergalactic martial arts tournament. And I, for one, am really looking forward to seeing it. It's the kind of movie that I, quite frankly, wish that I could make. Well, as you know, Lent started this week, and I did something different this year for Ash Wednesday. Here it is. Well, it's Ash Wednesday, and I'm on my way over to an Episcopal church nearby. It's St. Augustine of Canterbury, and they're advertising Ashes to Go. And my intention is to get ashes. I got to confess, I haven't gotten ashes in a long time. It used to be all during the 70s. Gerard and I would go for ashes down in there was a church down in the Wall Street area that was busy all day, and you could go to lunch, get ashes, and you're on your way. So I'm going to give this St. Augustine Ashes to Go thing a try. See what it is. I hope it works out. Here we go. St. Augustine of Canterbury. No cars. In person or online. I missed it. It was at 8 o'clock. 10 o'clock, 5:30 p.m. All right, maybe I'll come back at, oh, wait a minute. There's cars over here. Oh, here we go. Good morning.
How are you?
Very good.
Remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return.
Thank you.
And here is your prayers bulletin. Thank you. Thank you for stopping.
I'm glad you're having this.
Now, are you a member? Or?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so did you just see the sign? And
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Well, I mean, a lot of people, they don't, either they've got doctor's appointments or working, or they don't want to come inside because of the COVID, so this is a good thing.
This is great.
That is
absolutely
good.
Great. Thank you.
Have a blessed day.
You have a good one.
Thank you.
All right. So I got my ashes. Okay, and off comes the mask. Yeah, I've got a hunch that St. Augustine of Canterbury is going to be my go-to church for ashes if they continue with the drive-through ash program. Now let me go to the follow-up segment. And you may recall a few weeks ago, I reported that we got a new telephone pole at the end of our street. And I was able to get a closer look at it, and here it is. A couple of weeks ago, I reported that we got a brand new telephone pole installed down the end of our block. And now I've had an opportunity to get a little bit closer to it and just see what it's all about. So let me tell you, first off, if you look down the street here, you can see why they did it. The old wooden poles are tilted over to the right a little bit. As best I can tell, this telephone pole is made out of steel, and it's I think filled with cement or concrete or something like that. Now the wooden telephone poles that are over here When I worked for the phone company, they were estimated to have a life of 40 years. And I don't know if this has been up for 40 years, and I don't know what the anticipated life of this one is. But it's probably a lot more than 40. Now, the pole was made by a company called Valmont. And I tried to find out how much these things cost, and unfortunately, Valmont wasn't particularly forthcoming with information about this one. Similarly, I called Florida Power and Light, and I just couldn't get anybody who could give me any detailed information on this. So anyway, there you go. A brand new telephone pole. I estimate it's about 60 feet up. They haven't gotten rid of the wooden ones. They haven't put all the wires up on this. But anyway, that's all the information I could gather about these telephone poles. All right? Now, the thing that's interesting about the telephone pole is that the street that we live on, it doesn't have telephone poles. So evidently from this telephone pole, the electricity and the internet and whatnot go underground to get to the house. But I'm certainly delighted that we got a brand new telephone pole down the end of the street. And I don't think it's going to blow over in a hurricane. I would doubt that it would. Now, I promised last week that I would have a tip of the week for you, and it's a pretty valuable tip. Here it is. Do you occasionally have a hard time falling asleep? I've got a tip for you that's going to change your life. Now, first off, I've got to say, I'm not really a doctor. I don't have any, well, shall we say, formal medical training, but this tip actually works. Now, the first thing is, if you're ready to get into bed and get to sleep, what you do is come down your pinky, down to your wrist, and at the end of your wrist, or where the hand joins the arm, you'll find a small knob of bone. That's called the piezoform bone. And there's a little hollow next to it that's got a nerve in there. So what you want to do is press into that and let your hand go limp. Now what you're doing there is you're pressing this nerve that's going to go up and tell the brain, fire off the neurotransmitters that'll release sleep hormones. Hold it for 15, 20 seconds or so, then lay down, relax all your muscles, clear your mind, and then almost instantly you'll be falling asleep. Now it could take you 2 or 3 weeks of practice to do this, and you want to be sure that after you've relaxed all your muscles, you quit thinking. Because if you're thinking about stuff, what you're going to do is you're going to wake up a foot or a hand or your toes or something, and that in turn is going to wake up everything else. So anyway, if you can keep your mind clear, press this for 15 or 20 seconds, relax, you will fall asleep with absolutely no problem whatsoever. And once again, not a doctor, but believe me, this works. Yeah, I think if you give this a try, and it's really simple to do. There's nothing to it. But what you're going to find is that you're going to be falling asleep pretty quickly. And bear in mind, you may have to practice this for a couple of weeks, but if you do, you're going to be delighted with it. Actually, absolutely delighted with the results. Well, that's my report for this week, except for one item, which is that we want to extend our very, very best wishes to Prince Philip. You doubtless are aware that he was checked into a hospital this week because he was feeling unwell. Now, the palace has not released any details other than that he's in the hospital and he's feeling unwell. But at 99, that can be kind of tricky. So we're wishing him all the best. Anyway, that's the report for this week. Come back next week, and we'll have more news, more tips, more reports. Take care.